From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and welcome to your MTN Noon News for this Friday. I'm Hailey, Monaco. We begin with continuing coverage. The future of a proposed state mental health facility is in limbo. Nearly 2 weeks after Governor Greg Gianforte hit pause on the Eastern Montana project, state authorities face a deadline to spend the $26 million set aside. MTN's David J. shows us where things stand and how one senator is trying to keep it on track.
It's on hold. So I am a champion that I believe that it will be a great plus for Eastern Montana. And I do believe the best location will be Yellowstone County, wherever it's at. If it's on hold for a year or so, yes, we will. It will have to go into the next legislative session, and potentially we may not have money. So it may be a dream.
The dream was possibly to use this site on Skyway Drive in the Billings Heights to build a state forensic mental health facility. But plans changed and the future remains unknown. Q2 reporters asked for an update from the governor's office. We received this email saying the administration and the department are committed to working with all partners. Given the importance of this project and the need to keep it on track, that work is underway. Q2 also reached out to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for an update on the next steps. Its response pointed us back to the governor's office. A spokesperson stated, "I would suggest you consider that a joint response from the governor's office and DPHHS because we work very closely together as part of the executive branch of state government." Governor Gianforte says funding for a state mental health facility is a historic investment.
We're committed to expanding behavioral health services to make sure every Montanan can get the care they need and live up to their full potential.
But city and county officials want more details on that historic investment, saying the state is moving too fast and not providing the community with enough information on what may be coming to town.
We have some architectures and some people looking into it, but it has not gone to this point of actual blueprints. It could be 20 beds. It could be 30 beds. We're not sure.
Senator Yakowicz is sure of the need to get these questions answered. He shared his 5-page plan of action to get the answers the governor's office is seeking.
I've met probably 15 to 20 providers in the community already, and I'd say 80% of them are all for it.
So the search continues and the clock is ticking down. In Billings, David J., MTN News.
House Bill 5 gives legislators until June 2026 to spend the $26.5 million allocated for a mental health facility. In court news, all court records tied to the man accused of killing 4 people in an Anaconda bar earlier this month are sealed, a move legal experts call highly unusual. The suspect, 42-year-old Michael Paul Brown, appeared in court August 11th with bail set at $2 million. But officials won't confirm what charges he faces or why the case isn't listed in public records. Former Montana justices say they've never seen a homicide case sealed in its entirety. Brown, a combat veteran, is accused of killing a bartender and 3 patrons in the August 1st shooting. Thursday in Helena, a state district judge heard arguments on whether a school choice program for students with disabilities violates the Montana Constitution. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian was at the hearing and breaks down the legal dispute.
State Senator Sue Vinton, a Republican from Lockwood, has a son with special needs, and she says that's part of the reason she concluded Montana needed to support more educational options for families in these situations.
We were very, very fortunate to find a public school for his education that met his needs that we were ecstatic to be a part of. But I also know many of his friends with special needs didn't have that same advantage that he had.
In 2023, Vinton sponsored House Bill 393, which established education savings accounts for students with special needs. If an eligible student is not enrolled in a public school, their family can apply to the state to get reimbursement for other educational expenses, including private school tuition, tutoring, and therapies. Just over 70 students statewide are currently using the program.
Each individual family and student can put it to the use that they need it the most for.
On Thursday afternoon, HB 393 was at the center of several hours of oral argument at State District Court here in Helena. Plaintiffs, including public education advocates and Disability Rights Montana, have argued the law violates the Montana Constitution.
We may want to make different choices about where we send our children to school, but at the end of the day, the thing that we ultimately ask for is that every single child has an opportunity to access high quality education. And so if we choose to forego that public system, we don't get to take money out of it with us.
Under the program's funding structure, per-student funding goes from the school district where the student was previously enrolled to the savings accounts. Plaintiffs argue that's putting a burden on districts and infringing on their local authority.
We are devastating the ability of those local school boards to effectively serve our communities.
Attorneys for the state argued the money should be following students, not schools, and they questioned the actual impacts on school districts.
I believe that this program is beneficial for the students who need it without causing any harm to the many, many students who benefit from public education.
District Judge Mike Menahan didn't make any immediate ruling after Tuesday's hearing. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Well, I'm sure you're getting excited about the long holiday weekend heading into Labor Day. Happy Friday, TGIF, everyone. Let's take a look at some shots around the state. We do have some haziness, wildfire smoke there in Missoula. Unfortunately, it looks like something you may have to deal with at least through a good portion of the weekend as we have that flow coming in from the west. Great shot there of Livingston. And one of our new cameras there down in Cody. Hope everybody's having a great day so far in Cody, where we're seeing a good bit of sunshine. We've got 60s and 70s from west to east out there. We also have some rain. We have the shortwave moisture behind it. We still have enough moisture maybe lingering through tomorrow. But will we see rain on Labor Day? Will it spoil your outdoor activities? We'll take a look. Coming up.
Now time for today's leading look as we follow some of the other stories making headlines. In Wyoming, the Bighorn County Sheriff's Office says missing climber Grant Gardner has been found dead in the Cloud Peak Wilderness. A professional climbing team from North Carolina spotted a backpack under a ledge while making camp Tuesday night and alerted authorities. Search and rescue teams launched at first light and located Gardner's remains near the pack. Officials say he appeared to have suffered a tragic accident. A 34-year-old woman is recovering this week after Glacier National Park officials say she was hurt by a brown-colored bear. In a news release yesterday, park officials say the woman and one other person were hiking near Lake Janet when the bear, with her two cubs, charged out of the brush. The woman dove off the trail with her head covered, and the bear swiped at her, hitting her shoulder and arm. Her hiking partner deployed bear spray, which caused all three bears to run away immediately. Officials say no action will be taken against the bear at this time, noting the encounter was a surprise to the mother bear and the cubs, and the action was defensive. The bear's species could not be positively identified. The Cascade County Sheriff is investigating a large-scale animal cruelty case in Sun Prairie. Deputies served a warrant Wednesday at a property where they found dozens of animals living in poor conditions, with feces and strong odors throughout the home. In total, deputies seized 37 dogs, 8 cats, a snake, 5 lizards, and a hedgehog. 4 dead dogs were also discovered. Sheriff Slaughter says the other animals are now receiving care at the McLean Cameron Animal Adoption Center in Great Falls. 9 other dogs were found on the same property, but deemed to be in good health and allowed to stay.
The animals will not be released until they are fully vaccinated and they all have a medical check. So we are going to ensure that is done. The issue we're going to run into on this case is going to be extremely expensive, far more than our budget is at the sheriff's office.
The sheriff says donations and volunteers are needed to help care for the rescued animals, and they will soon be available for foster care. He added that investigators have identified people of interest, but no arrests have been made. As federal budget cuts make their way from D.C. to Montana, a Butte-based nonprofit sounding the alarm, saying potential cuts to housing, energy, and food programs will harm over 100,000 Montanans. MTN's Megan Thompson caught up with a waitress who says the services provided by the nonprofit help her make ends meet.
As Congress works to approve the federal budget, this Butte-based nonprofit says that federal funding is key to providing services to working families that they serve in 6 southwest Montana counties.
Hey folks, how are you? I don't know how a lot of people would make it without this program. It has allowed me to work full-time, to be able to have shelter for myself and my wonderful dog.
Stacy Sterna is a waitress. She's been in the service industry for 20 years. Her work is fast-paced and it can be challenging, but she says she loves it.
It's physical and it's constant moving and, you know, always thinking in 5 different directions.
Stacy is one of over 100,000 Montanans who utilize programs that help with energy, housing, and food assistance to help working families make ends meet.
Not everybody is able to make ends meet. And community action agencies across the country are so critical to supporting U.S. citizens, especially in rural areas.
Action Inc.'s CEO Margie Seckham is urging Montana's congressional leadership to support funding for low-income energy assistance and housing programs.
Remember that 120,000 Montanans have gotten a service from a community action agency. So please, fund the Community Services Block Grant, and please give thought and good consideration to how many Montanans will be in trouble without these services.
Just not a handout. It is a partnership with working and thriving families. This is just, it's a beautiful program that will help families be safe, sheltered, and to move ahead for the future.
I reached out to Montana's congressional delegation, and Senator Tim Sheehy was the only one to respond by deadline. He says he will work to ensure cost-saving measures are targeted responsibly and the critical resources Montanans rely on are protected. In Butte, Megan Thompson, MTN News.